What's up, Josh?
Oh, hey, Don. What's up?
Nothing much.
Nothing much.
I'm just eating a tamale.
Oh, I'm not eating that. I'm eating chicken fried steak.
Okay.
Tamales sound pretty good, though.
My mom just dropped them off. I was very pleased to see this.
Awesome. Well, you guys give me 1 second. And we're back. Let's see. Like, just give me 1 minute to check on some more stuff, and I'll. Well, I cannot find it at the moment. What I was looking for. So, not able to show you guys that. Um, I'll put up. I'll see if this works considering how my screens are laid out right now. I'm gonna put up the agenda per usual. Does it look right? It just looks a bit scrunched up.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Alrighty. Just give me 1 second to do one last thing and then we'll go ahead and get started. Any exciting news? I don't have much exciting news. Looks like many of us were, depending on how we see it, is gonna have exciting news or some sort of news this afternoon, or later this evening, or maybe next week. Who knows at this point, right? So everyone stay well, and I thank you, Casey, for asking. It's crazy time, Han, to think that we're a part of many of us who were not in the same. Oh, Casey, you got a really cool job. What is your really cool job?
So I got hired as an administrative assistant at Ramey and Flock, which is a really big law firm here in town. And that's going to be a great doorway opener for law school.
That is awesome. Wow. Congratulations. That's really cool, and I didn't know that's where you're headed, so we should tell me more about that later. As for right now, we will go ahead and get started. I guess roll calls on this one, even though we still Adana, actually open forum would be the perfect time to do that. So we'll go ahead and get that started. We'll start off with the open forum, as you guys can see. We do have someone who is a part of our normal body here with us, who's going to bring up something really cool that's happens every year. And so, Don, per usual, and as I would tell anyone, you have 5 minutes. Questions can be included for you during that 5 minutes, but after that, we'll ask you to stop. And then if students were to discuss anything afterwards, then they could. But considering yours is more of an advertisement type, letting students know what's happening. So you go ahead, and the floor is yours, sir.
All right. I wanted to talk to you guys today about something that's very important to me, and it's about orientation leader, being an orientation leader. Applications have recently opened up for a second round, and I think people on here, especially people on here, would be an absolutely great fit for us. We're looking for really people that are really involved on campus and student leaders, and you guys check those boxes. Applications have opened up. You can find them on uttyler.edu/orientation/leaders. Orientation is really about getting students, making them feel comfortable in the transition from high school to college. You're really going to be there to make sure that they are well and sound for their first semester in high school or college. I'm sorry. Application for swoop camp leaders have also reopened. That's more of like a fun thing that more of like a camp for the people that are coming in. That's a lot less of a time commitment, but I'd say it's more fun. Orientation leader is a bigger time commitment, but I think you form deeper connections through there. Let's see what else there's to say about this. I think we have former orientation leaders on the call, Casey and Hannah for sure. I do recall them. So I think it's a really great leadership opportunity for you guys. It's opened a whole bunch of doors for me, and I think it'll do the exact same for you guys if you guys are interested at all. I'll be up in the student engagement office if you guys have any questions about applying. You can also send an email to orientation@uttyler.edu if you guys have any questions. I think that's the end of my little spiel.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. Anybody have any quick questions? Alrighty. So moving on. Thank you so much. If you guys are interested, Joshua Nees, our wonderful advisor, also has a large part to do with that, but he works and directs the office that is in charge of that. So while he does not have the direct hand in it, he does know a lot of people there. And if you are interested or even know someone who would be a good fit, I'd ask you to direct them Don's way. He's one of the 3 student leaders for that group, and I think we'll do an awesome job of it. So with that, does anybody have anything else? Anybody else here for open forum? Alrighty. So speakers podium, I do not know of. As always, I want to invite you guys. I think someone that we are expecting to come, if we can't get this individual to come in this semester, will come in the beginning of next, but I think we will be able to get them within this semester, is Ashley Beal, and she is the director for basically advising across our academic advising on our campus. And so the e-board in attendance this Monday discussed bringing her, because that's some of the concerns that students have had, a lot of concerns that students have had as in the advising realm, and the struggles they've had there, and she is definitely the person to go to if you have any of those. Secondly, I wanted to report, I meant to send out an email to you guys earlier today, however, did not have access currently to everyone's email, so I couldn't get out yet. So I have a couple of things I'll have for you, but this is in regards to Dr. Swain. I'll transition to my officer reports right now. And so she was here last week. She brought up to you guys a couple of representatives she'll need for a couple academic committees that she's putting together in type of task force that she wants to advise students on and people on for task force. And so there's a couple people that I'll be reaching out to for those spots. And if you are really, really interested, I'd actually love if you reach out to me. It does make it easier if I don't have to reach out to people by people every time, and then it makes it harder to do that. So if you want more information as to what you'll be doing, I wouldn't expect too much time commitment. It is a really cool opportunity because the people you'd be sitting with in that room or in that Zoom call who are on that task force with Dr. Swain are going to be really cool people, know a lot about the school, and will only help you in this job that you have now. So that's really an awesome opportunity, especially considering it's not one that's normal. It's one that's kind of ad hoc to what is usually happening, and is going to provide you a different opportunity than most others would have. Also, she asked if you guys could have written, and I'll actually put out a format for this that I'd love to have submitted by next Wednesday, is kind of what you guys have seen in your Canvas courses that work really well. She kind of wants to know what formats work about Zoom courses. And if you could outline what those look like, I'm sure include any screenshots of those type of things as long as it's not revealing. I'll send out a format similar to what I've used for other committees, specifically for Student Advisory Council. I'll use that format. It won't be doing Student Advisory Council work, but I'll let you guys use that format, and you can comment on what kind of Canvas courses look good for you and what kind of don't. She really wants to see that, and if she could have pretty much all 18 of us who are in attendance today to send that to her, it would be really cool. And I think it'd really show that we're really caring about what she's wanting to send our way. So other than that, this week, what I've done for SGA stuff is I'm going to be sending you guys some information, pretty important, through a kind of whole consolidated email. Hopefully I won't have to email you guys more than once, just a couple things to fill you in on the end of the year and things like that. Currently, I'm not able to be in the office, so a lot of things that I would be doing quicker, I'm learning from an off-campus environment for the next 2 weeks. And so other than that thing that I'm sending you guys and me going to Student Advisory Council this week, I'm not the busiest person in this regard, but I'm still working on things. If you guys need me, you can call me or email me. Email me, I'll probably actually answer faster than if you text and call me. Don't know why that is. It's just, it's how it goes. So if you guys need anything, I'll still be available. And if you need a meeting of some kind, just reach out to me. I'll get to you literally so fast. All I've got to look at right now is my computer. So if you guys need me, I'll be there. I don't have anything else. And so go ahead, Hannah.
My computer again, so if you can't hear me, please let me know. I know it always backs up sometimes. Starters.
Yeah, Hannah, you're gonna have to. I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't know what it is wrong. If you like yell at and face right towards your laptop, I
Hold
think
on.
it'll work.
1 moment. Turning off my video because I don't want you to see my big face in the camera, but now. Is that a yes?
Yeah, we can hear you better now.
Okay. This is hilarious. All right. It has been very busy this week with my other job, because we have seen spikes for the virus in El Paso. I've actually been deploying EMS people out to El Paso, so I've been focusing a lot on my full-time job this week, just because that's very scary. But other than that, when it comes to student government, UTSAC, like Josh mentioned, is this weekend. We broke our committee, the COVID-19 response committee, down into even smaller subcommittees, and I am on the the communication frequency subcommittee with 2 other students from different institutions, and so we're doing research for that to present to our main committee on Saturday. And then just Fall Patriot Premier Showcase is on Saturday, November 7th. So if I've reached out to you about that, thank you so much for your input. And then that's pretty much it. Everything else will be in committee reports.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Secretary Stavino.
All right. So this week, unfortunately, I've also not been able to be in the office. I am home with my family in Allen, Texas, just due to some extenuating circumstances. So I actually have not been able to do a whole lot yet, but I have tomorrow and Friday set aside for my office duties, and I'm really excited to get back to the office. I didn't realize how much I would miss it, because I didn't think that I would miss it all that much, since I don't really get to see people in there all that often, but it's definitely been hard. Um, and the rest of my report's going to be in committee.
Awesome. Treasurer Long. I don't know
I don't
Treasurer
think she.
Long.
I don't
Yes,
think she's here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't think she is either. She told me that. So moving on, go ahead, Chief of Staff. Look, I have it on here the first time this time. Chief of Staff Ray. Look, I can do it correct.
Thank you. So I'm going to just do my discussion mostly under rules. Basically, one of my biggest goals still has been just working on the judicial board system. So if anybody, again, is interested in the judicial board, please let me know. I did talk to a couple people, so that's a good process, especially if you're struggling to make the commitment then that senators require. You can let me know on that, and that's a slightly less heavy commitment. So, but you can still be involved, still be able to help in the circumstance when we need it. So please let me know if you have that. And then again, the rest of it will be in committee.
Alrighty. Thank you, Robert, and thank you to the officers. It's a crazy week for a lot of us, and so I'm sorry. It seems like we're just everywhere. We certainly are everywhere. I know that if you reach out to one of these guys, though, and if you need some help from one of them, okay. So even though we are all over the place, sorry about that. These officers are definitely here to help you guys if you need, and if you guys do need something, I'm also here. I know that something to look forward to from an officer report next week is Cameron is going to give a little presentation on what a senator project looks like. I know we talk about that a lot, and it might be a little bit confusing to students to have to. We just say senator or senator project. You're like, oh, what does that mean? And so she's going to report on that to you guys and let you guys kind of see what a process would look like. So that way, maybe over the switch to the new semester, we can start working on those projects. I'll be available over the Christmas break, and we can start discussing those things. If you want to learn more, it doesn't help to reach out yourself, though, and I do not mind doing that. So on to committee reports. Go ahead, Hannah.
All right. So, committee, we could not meet this week due to also extenuating circumstances, but that's okay because what we planned on discussing was exactly what we discussed last week and what I got some input on from a few of my committee members throughout the week. And so it was on the finals week bags. I'm going to be sending the, I don't know what it's called, like what we're purchasing to Joshua Neves anytime now that we've finalized it, and we know what we're going to get for the finals week bags. And then soon I will send out to y'all by email, because I figured out how to do it, an email asking who can volunteer the week before finals, which should be, I guess, no, I'm sorry, the week of, doesn't matter, I'll let you know. Who can volunteer to pass out the finals week bags. So be on the lookout for an email. It will not be very long. You can come in shifts, and I'll create that maybe in a Google Doc form, and we can figure out who can come. So just be looking for that email, and I might need some help putting them together. That would be great too if anybody could come help me put all the finals week bags together, because that always takes a long time. But Anyway, yeah, that's it.
Alrighty. Jennifer, to report on communication.
So my committee this week, something that I had worked on actually was getting a post out about one of our other resources, and I am absolutely just blanking on the name. That is okay. But Charlie Goodson is going to be sending me a report on the it's not the Student Veterans Office anymore. It's the
Military and Veteran Success Center.
Thank you, Casey. You're the best. He's going to be sending me a report on that. If you guys could not tell, I am just all over the place today. It's super chaotic not being in my normal setup for this meeting, but that's okay. So Charlie's going to be getting me that report. And my committee meeting this week was short and sweet because we didn't have very many people there. But I would like to shout out Ashlyn Mattern because she wasn't there because she was donating plasma. That is awesome, Ashlyn. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for doing that. That's super cool. And I am looking forward to seeing my committee next week.
Alrighty. SGAC, I understand that Cameron isn't here, so you guys are going to report independently, I think. That's correct?
Right. Yes. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and start things off. So yesterday, Carlos Ramirez with ASHRAE, which is an engineering org, came back to us with another request to fund another one of his meetings. So this time he asked for $123.45, and that would cover cost of food and refreshments for a meeting on November 19th for his organization. It was just a pretty straightforward, like standard case. So we were able to approve that within an hour, and the request has already been filed, and he should have what he needs by November 19th. And he knows to fill out the the form that we've recently made for everyone who requests funds from SGA. So yeah, the follow-up form. Thank you, Senator Limberti. So if anyone else from SGAC has anything to add to that, go ahead.
I think does anybody else from SGAC have anything to follow up about?
Claire, could you tell everybody about your event?
Oh, okay. Awesome. So that event did go through and it was good. And so that's awesome to hear. And was that our first SGAC funded event? Do we know which one we're on? And sorry if you could, how much was the cost of that? I cannot remember. Do we have that off? If not, then that's totally fine. First one, okay, 300. Okay, so, sorry about that. What was that, Ben?
Oh, no, nothing. I thought you were talking to me about what I was just talking about.
Okay.
I didn't.
No, that's totally fine. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to confuse anyone. I just wanted to know because typically I think Cameron would be the one to check up with that, and it helps if she can update it. Obviously, that would be a problem right now. So that's totally fine. Thank you, guys. It's awesome to hear that the students part of that committee are engaging in it enough, and you guys can report on it. So last committee is rules, and that's Robert.
So this week we kind of changed it up a little bit with the rules committee. We actually, there was a little bit of discussion done with the rules. So we did just kind of work on making a few improvements, especially things we've been talking about throughout this, the semester, including senator projects. It's one of those things that we do, but it's not necessarily written in the rules. It may be somewhere in SGAC, but we're going to try to, work some of those things that aren't perfectly clear into the system, kind of like we've been doing along the way, and make those a little more available and more aware so that the senators know that those are available. Then We also, we did have a discussion for some advising topics, something we're going to be working on over the next few weeks. I had Senator Boardman, Goodson, and Senator Knight come from a few different departments there, and they gave a lot of good input on the academic advising. And I know we recently did a survey with that, so we worked a lot on looking at that survey, addressing some of the concerns that have been brought up there, and seeing how that can work out in the future, how we can improve some of those processes, and then what we'll do from there. So lots of good information. So it's been very, very beneficial. I appreciate you guys coming. And then that'll be it, Josh.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert, for that. Awesome to hear that those committees are happening and stuff. And so with that, keep on remembering, if you guys still don't know a meeting that you can go to, please reach out. I'll get the times to you. Typically the times would be over here on the agenda. Today they're not there. New agenda every week, quite literally. Could have new names on it every week. So sorry about that. But good to see that you guys are getting stuff done. So on to student voice reports. We will start with the College of Arts and Sciences. Obviously, Senator Lamberti, your mic is a little bit messed up. So if we don't mind, I don't know how you work that out. So we will start with Senator Nepal, and then we'll move to, sorry, I want to make sure I get the names right. Senator Forrest, and then last, unless you guys decided to mix yours in with Senator Lamberti's, then just let me know. But go ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. I will talk for myself and Senator Claire. So we met with Dean Gray 2 weeks ago, and all three of us were there. And then we discussed a lot of things. I will tell about some of things right now. We discussed about making CAS departments having a unified Canvas format for all students to easily find things. We also talked about possibly linking outside homework assignments and Canvas to the Outlook calendar, so students can see what they have each day without having to go in and manually put it in. And Dean Gray really liked that we organized a meeting, and he said that we should have such meetings regularly. We have discussed about having it bi-monthly, so we'll probably have it this Friday. And then for Senator Claire, she wanted to talk about the Bailey Liu event, which she already talked about. And she also talked about arranging a pre-theology event for the next one that the college will be sponsoring. She also worked on a pre-law event, and she got students out there voting. And I also talked to Dean Gray about making either an Instagram or a Facebook page where we'll post about events that College of Arts and Sciences will be hosting and stuff like that. So that was it from the meeting. And apart from that, I talked to some constituents. They were having difficulty setting up or going around our new format of My UT Tyler. So I helped them with that. And then I told them how they're supposed to register for classes and stuff like that. Regarding the advising office, one of the advisors just left UT Tyler. So because it's a very busy time, students are having difficulty setting up appointments, and they are getting appointments pretty late. So that's one thing that students are going through. Other than that, everything looks cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good to hear that you guys are meeting with your dean, and good to hear that you've got a bi-monthly meeting set up. Senator Forrest, do you have anything to add on?
Yeah, just a couple things. So we did meet with Dean Gray. It was really good. We were able to like talk about stuff that was concerning. One of the things I brought up was having like a video summary or an email at the beginning of the week from your professors, just so you know what assignments are due or what you need to be working on, just to make sure you're getting everything done. So that's what I talked about with him, and he said he loved that idea and he was ready to take it to the professors and the other deans as well. So that's about it too. Senator Paul kind of touched on everything we talked about.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys did a good job and kind of something you can look at whenever you guys are thinking of those Canvas things. Obviously, something Dr. Colleen Swain brought to us. As you guys are discussing those, I'm sure she'd love to hear about what's moving on because she'll be one that has a say in that eventually. And so anytime you guys can say that, or if you discuss a format together, if you guys are all from varying degree programs, it'd actually be cool to see like what works for each one of you. And obviously that email thing is something that could work into that Canvas platform. So I think that's a good idea, and you guys did a great job. So good to hear from you guys. We'll move on and go to the Souls College of Business. I know you guys were just as busy since the last time you reported as it seems the College of Arts and Sciences were. So if we'll start and go ahead with Senator Jennings, and then we can move to Senator Rodriguez, if that's fine.
Hey guys, so we also met with our dean. It's been a while now, but we haven't gotten a report on that. So we met with interim Dean Swinburne. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's super nice, super approachable. I've actually met with him previously just on my own for those things. So he gives a lot of really good information. The enrollment in the College of Business is super strong. A lot of transfer students, which is kind of interesting. That's definitely a demographic that I wouldn't have expected, and probably will look at, targeting them a little bit more for seeing how they're doing. Dr. Carrie Ann Camp got a COVID grant to assist with some research, and we have a lot of like retailer connections in the Tyler area, especially through the Texas Retailers Association. So she has a grant now to do some research on the local economy and things like that, which is pretty cool. We could expect to see some student participation in that. The Texas Retailers Association just donated $35,000 for scholarship funding and then $12,000 for general funding for the College of Business, which is pretty awesome. Next thing we asked about was like the COVID response of the College of Business in particular. He emphasized that we are doing more online classes, which I think is pretty universal, while still offering as many in-person courses as possible, just because, a lot of students prefer to learn that way, but they have tried to make sure that the wipes and things like that are available so students feel safe. Unfortunately, we have had some faculty and staff exposed. I think almost all of them have been externally. Basically, everyone has recovered from that, but we did have a pretty prominent staff member that passed away, unfortunately, so that's pretty sad for the university. And then I also asked how scheduling would look for spring, which I know is open now, but at the time it wasn't. And they said that they're hoping to reduce the in-person class seat count a little bit and make them higher on the online section. So there will still be the same number, just kind of shifted in which format. And then he encouraged student participation in the Souls Ambassadors and the Student Forum, which is an event that was held last year that was really popular with students. So he encouraged that. And then we asked about the process of hiring a new dean. All he was able to tell us is that he is signed on to be the interim dean through at least next summer, and that the search for new deans for both the College of Business and nursing are on the way, but haven't really started yet. A lot of information.
Well, good to hear that. So that's awesome to hear that you guys met with him. I think I met with him just shortly after you guys did, so I've heard some of that. And I'd like to advise you and to tell any other College of Business student, if I don't know, but the search committee for a new dean and to replace the interim dean, so it goes, is coming underway very soon. Just to let you know that, and if anyone were to ask. So with that, thank you so much, Senator Jennings. These were awesome Senator reports tonight. So that's really cool. Moving on, and last, we'll go to Senator Rodriguez.
Well, thanks a lot, Alicia. Yeah, it's on. Well, like I said before, like Casey said, we did meet with Dr. Chris Swinberge a couple weeks ago, and I was looking closely at my notes, and I think Casey hit every single major point on the head. And so, like, good for her. That's fantastic. He's a great guy, very approachable. He's been a great dean thus far, and he seems to be very on top of things. And besides that, when it comes to individual student voice reports or any sort of things like that, it's been really quiet. I haven't been very proactive lately, which is partly on my fault. But besides that, no student has ever came to me with any sort of concerns or questions or comments. It just seems to be quiet for now. But I'll definitely put a more proactive approach on my part next time.
Awesome. Well, you guys did good either way. It's awesome to hear that all the 5 senators who reported tonight have had a meeting with their dean. I hope that wasn't too hard of an occurrence, and for anyone else who's still trying to reach out to their head of constituency, be it a residence coordinator, any of those people, if they're student body at large, dean of students who is actually in attendance with us today, if you guys need any extra help in getting in contact with them, or you just don't know who to reach out to, please let me know, because it'd be awesome to hear. I think there's about enough time in the semester where everyone else will get to report at least one more time. And if you could have a meeting with your head of constituency for that, it would be really awesome. So we will move on into old business. I have it marked on the agenda. We tabled the discussion last time. I wrote it as I remembered it, not exactly as I just couldn't nail it down. So you guys, I know we tabled it to discuss it later. And so, or I think we tabled it for the e-board. I'm not exactly sure, but I wanted to let you guys know that it's on the table. And I guess, well, I guess I can entertain a motion to reopen our discussion from last week regarding the hours, pick up where we left off. Unless,
Motion to open discussion on extended facility hours.
Okay.
all right,
So I guess I'll start it off. After hearing everything last week, especially from Katie, the College of Business was brought up. I don't think that that's a great idea. It's a huge building, brand new. It doesn't seem very smart to let a bunch of college kids just run rampant in it 24/7. The idea of the UC being available, I think that that would be potentially a good option, just because it is a more comfortable space than the library. I know when I study, I feel like the library is kind of, I don't know, it's not an engaging space, I guess is the best way to put that. So the UC could be cool, but it is true that that would take a lot of staffing, which I don't know that the university is necessarily financially or personally prepared for. So I think ultimately the best idea would be to go back to the original library hours, just because it seems like the best compromise of not putting too much strain on the university's resources while still allowing students at least a longer amount of time to study.
all right, Robert.
Yeah, so I actually did go talk to the student that came and brought it to us, and I think she said that most of her suggestions for other locations were just her trying to come up with a solution. So she said, and I talked to her and I said, hey, but is the library, that's the most feasible option. Looking at the university center, it'd be thousands in security and additional people, as well as the amount of stuff we have in there that's has to be monitored permanently. It would take a number of employees. So I asked a few people about those changing on those hours, and they said those are fairly impossible in that sense. But the library has, Senator Jennings hit the nail on the head. There's the ability is already there if we could just adjust those hours back. And when I talked to the student that came for open forum, she said that that would be ideal. And so we talking to her, and I talked to maybe 6 other students, which isn't much, but I focused on students who actually utilize the library as much as I've seen. And so the 3 concepts were bring the library hours back to the standard values. And then another one was to standardize the weekend hours. As of right now, it changes on the weekend. Friday's a low day, and then Saturday changes and Sunday changes. So that made it troublesome to keep up with the consistency in the schedule. So consistency on the weekend hours, and then extension on the weekend hours. So, they don't necessarily have to be as high as the weekdays, but a lot of times the library is closing, I think it was 5 or 6 on Fridays. And so that was a big issue for many students in that case. So those 3 main points would be something I would definitely encourage us to look forward to and try to pursue. And it's also something that I think the library would be open to.
I agree with Robert's points there. I think the library would definitely be better to have it open at least on the weekends, still say maybe about 6 or 47.
So I guess it seemed, oh, sorry, Casey, do you have something?
I was just going to ask, I know that they're doing like surveys and stuff right now for the library to kind of gauge student opinion on stuff. Do you think that this is something that they would be willing to come chat with us about the possibility of doing?
I know, I think so, and that's what I was about to ask, so I'm glad you asked that. I think that's going to be the most important thing. I would ask you guys, do you think that our collective concern about it is enough to justify it right now that they should open it? And if not, and so if you think so, we can decide to kind of vote as an SGA to do it. But I think, my opinion, to ask you guys, if Casey's, I think her avenue is a way to approach it. That way it doesn't seem like we're hostile. We're not going to, operations to ask. We're asking, obviously, the people that would be there an additional 2 to 4 hours. What do you guys think?
Motion to vote to request that the librarians come just to speak with us about the possibility of it.
Seconded.
Alrighty. So I guess all those in favor, or we have a little, whoo, that's so cool. So all those in favor, if you do want to invite the library staff to come speak about it, obviously press yes, and if not, then press no. We should have 4 non-voting members. So I'd ask any of our guests, if you haven't already, to select. I think we have everyone who is technically a voting member on this poll. Alrighty. Well, it's going to be a yes no matter what. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for that. I think that is a possibility to go. So just for the order of this meeting, we still do have a discussion open for this. And so if you guys have anything else more to add, you're free to do so. But if we are going to close it, we are technically supposed to motion to close it. So anywhere you guys want to go is up to you.
Motion to close discussion on extended facility hours.
And seconded.
All right. So written second. That's funny, Claire. So I guess all those in favor of closing. We don't have a magic pool, but I think. Alrighty. You get to do the. Oh man, these are so cool. Robert's a great guy for getting these set up. I think Robert did it. If not, whoever set up these polls are very cool.
Both me and Jennifer have set a couple of them up.
I second the Student Government Association at UT Tyler's comment. Please fill out the attendance if you've not already done so. That really helps us make sure that everyone's got it together and is here. So Moving on, does anybody have anything else to bring up for old business? Alrighty, seeing none then, we'll move on to new business. Does anybody have anything else or anything to bring up for new business? So I'm going to write a note here really quick.
I have a question about the mask policy while like studying and everything. So when you're studying, do you have to have a mask on if you're by yourself, or like what are the rules with that?
I'm going to direct this because I do not want to hold myself or incriminate myself. Joshua or Andy, could you guys give a little advising on what that specific rule is? So I think Senator Medlin can know.
Yeah, so the way I interpret it is if you are indoors and you are not eating or drinking, you are to be wearing a mask. And so that would include even if you are by yourself.
Okay, because that's just something I've noticed with a lot of students. Like I've been walking by, if they're studying alone, like at a table that's kind of by itself, like, you know, they won't have a mask on. And I don't know if that's allowed or what the protocol is for that. But that's just what I've been seeing.
Yeah, and so it's definitely not allowed in my opinion, and I think that whoever is in charge of that facility, you know, if it's in the library or a classroom, you know, whoever's in charge of that room should be addressing it. You know, we want to do our part and make sure everybody is safe, and you know, we've done a really good job this semester, but these little steps do go a long way, and so you know, we're doing our best to try to, you know, keep reminding students. And I know a lot of staff, you know, do go around and say, hey, y'all, you just, you know, pull your mask up. And often sometimes students forget, or, you know, you talk with your friends and it naturally comes down, especially with the UT Tyler mask. And so I get how that if I'm alone, they may feel comfortable not wearing it. But while on campus, we do want to encourage everybody indoors wearing their mask at all times.
Okay, because I just wasn't sure about that, so maybe I can help we can help clarify that to all students.
Awesome. Great question. I think it's one of those tough things. Obviously, I think one of the things that Josh has told me in the past is like, realistically, and it's reasonable to think it's intimidating, but we are a group of students here, and I don't think it's out of the way to just say, be encouraging, obviously not too antagonistic, but you know, we're all in this together type thing, and so, you know, just letting people know, because sometimes they may not know. I think Josh is right. Sometimes you're just sitting there by yourself. You may think that you're not supposed to, and just give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't know. But great question. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring up to discuss during new business?
I do.
Alrighty.
Okay, so y'all are gonna think this is crazy. I thought it was crazy. I had a friend message me a while back because I knew I was an SGA, but they were sitting in class waiting for the professor to come in, talking about COVID and how they felt that people weren't wearing their masks properly, and that was frustrating, and that they personally felt unsafe, right? So one of their fellow students sitting next to them heard this and doesn't necessarily believe in the masks and everything, turned to my friend and pulled their mask down and like breathed all over her and said, boom, I just gave you COVID, which she interpreted to be very threatening, and she felt very unsafe. So she was asking me if there was a method to like report behavior like that is like blatantly disrespectful of those guidelines that have been set forth both by the nation and the school. So I wasn't sure exactly what to tell her on that, and I just thought I'd bring it up for discussion.
Yeah. Adam, you made a good comment. I'm not sure. I think, I think it's,
And
there's
I'm going to
multiple.
chime in, Josh, real quick
Yeah,
on that.
I was about to ask Josh.
I think it's from a student government perspective. I think not necessarily talking about the specific individuals involved. You can talk about it on broad terms as far as what is the best, way to handle that situation. But I also noticed that Dean
Yeah.
Petit might want to chime in. I saw his mic on this one.
Well, regardless of COVID or not, we obviously don't want to behave in a way that could potentially get somebody else sick or endanger them. And so that intentional action, I would recommend. You certainly can contact UTPD and they would be very supportive, but you can also, Casey, either send me an email or have the student fill out a report online. We have a reporting function to report concerns that have happened, and then we can look into it and talk with the student and figure out what is the best way to address the concern. And so I would recommend anytime a student brings up something to you that's concerning, that you do feel comfortable encouraging them to report it to us so that we can reach out to them, one, to support them, and two, discuss options as to how we can resolve their concerns.
Okay, thank you. That was just such a one-off situation that I wasn't really sure if there's a method for reporting intentional behavior like that or whatever. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm on my phone right now, but what I'll do is send you a form for which anybody can report concerns on campus, right? So that my office and my team know about it. And we work very closely with the UTPD to support them as well. So I'll send a link out that is open to the community in terms of reporting concerns.
And Andy, if I need to find it, just message me and I can post it in the chat for you as well.
Thanks, Josh. I'll see if I can find it real quick.
And Andy, if you can't find it, it sounds like that little helper in the background will be able to help find it for you.
Yes, that's my 2-year-old daughter who's asking for more oranges.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And Casey, I would definitely recommend that, and we'll work with that. I think Jennifer, that would be something I know that the communications committee works weekly on, and has frankly done a very good job at keeping up with kind of something that I shot her away, and maybe make a flyer or something, and we could send it out, because I didn't know that was the exact way we're reporting that, and so that's awesome that they let us know that. But thank you so much, Casey. Yep, thank you to Jennifer. And so we'll get that done. I think it's more to say it's important that obviously, Casey, that you can report that and your friend obviously can do so, but letting students know that this is the proper way, and that we could be working on this student, helping the student and students like this person who may have not even known, and the best thing for them to have known is just reaching out could help, because if frankly, I think, in my own opinion of it, is that most people on campus, if they can't directly do it, they do know someone who can help you. And so obviously they knew Casey, because if anyone knows Casey, she knows the people that can help people, and she's awesome. So she was smart in doing so. Yeah, and that's what I was about to ask. Is anyone else here for new business, have anything else to bring up, anything like that? Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything directly. So thank you for that. Really insightful questions, insightful so far in the meeting and things. So it's good to hear you guys talking about stuff. I do want to move on to advisor comments. So Mr. Dr. Professor, Ultimate Jedi, Master Chief Neves.
Well, I do want to reinforce how awesome it is, what's been shared as, on the student voice reports. I think it's been a while since the senators have done a really good job of sitting down with the deans, and really doing, hearing about what's going on in the college, sharing their concerns, and then bringing it back to student government. So much of, the success of, in order for student government to be successful, a lot of the work takes place outside of these meetings. And so it is really great to see the committees start coming together, working on things, and then these meetings can focus on the larger issues at hand. So kudos to all of y'all. You're doing a good job. I know it sounds like there's a lot going on for each and every one of y'all, but I think we're almost done with the semester, and hopefully things will improve as it relates to COVID, and so that way we can keep moving back towards that traditional experience. I do want to highlight that Dean Petit has posted that link to that report form, and so this is if there's a concern about anything on campus, I want to reinforce that anything is reportable, and based on the information that is provided, determines how we're able to handle that. And so, we do our best to make sure that every student has the best campus experience possible, that, we keep everyone safe, and that you are here to get an education. So definitely keep that in mind, share that with other students. You're always welcome. If you are not comfortable sending it in the report, you're always welcome to email us as well. You can email Dean Petit, you can email me, and we'll do our best to also help you as much as we can. And so other than that, just keep up the good work. It's good to see all of y'all. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. It is awesome to know, guys, and what I've learned and what I love to do this so much is that Josh for sure is an awesome guy. He's an awesome advocate for students. Frankly, everyone that I've met on this campus is an advocate for students and wants us to be successful and definitely prioritizes our success, and they're really here to hear that. I know Andy the same way, and anybody who isn't in this room that are staff that work for students are definitely here for us. So thank you guys so much. I do not have anything else, nor do I think we have anything else to cover. So with that,
I just wanted to give you guys some really exciting news. If any of you see Dr. Amy Hayes outside of her office, she is now on the school board of Tyler, Texas. And that is super exciting. She is so excited to be there. So if you see her, please congratulate her. And if you don't know who Dr. Amy Hayes is, I hope you get the joy of meeting her because she is just such an amazing person. So if you see her, make sure you congratulate her.
awesome. Thank you for that. I did not know that, so I'll make sure to find her wherever I can. And does anybody have anything else before we move to adjournment? Adjournment to adjourn. Don't really know the right
Not for me, no. Oh, you good?
Alrighty. And with that, we're supposed to motion to adjourn, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I carry said motion.
Second.
Magical voting bubble. Sweet. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Be well. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys next week.